I'm Lorraine Sommerfeld, and this is the Lemonade Car Show. Tonight we're talking about the ins and outs of buying a used car, and as always we'll be answering all of your car questions. Lemonade is brought to you by OMVIC, that's Ontario Vehicle Sales Regulator, and we're produced by the Automobile Protection Association. The APA fights for you, the consumer, and provides information and news on all parts of the industry. Visit our website at apa.ca or reach us by phone at 416-204-1444. Joining me today is Warren Barnard. He's the Executive Director of the Used Car Dealers Association. And Georgini, he's the president of the APA. We'll be taking your calls this evening at 800-968-7836. Welcome to the show. It's nice to have you here, Warren. Hi, George. Good to have you back so soon. Used cars, awesome topic, always interesting, because I say if you own a car, you own a used car.
Everybody owns a used car.
Everyone owns a used car.
Right.
It's true. The UCDA is a really big network operating in Ontario. Can you tell me some of the basic outlines of it?
Sure. Yeah. We're a provincial association, not-for-profit. We have close to 5,000 members in Ontario, registered motor vehicle dealers, both new car dealers and used independent dealers, right across the province. Our function as their industry trade association is to provide representation to them, to provide education to them, and we also offer for the public, for consumers, a mediation service. It's free of charge if a customer has a concern or a problem having purchased a vehicle and they can't get it sorted out with the dealer. They're welcome to call us. So we have a trained mediator on staff, and more often than not we can get a resolution that everybody can live with.
So, Warren, does that have to be a member of the UCDA? Like
doesn't have to be. Obviously, if they are a member, we can usually have a little bit more influence with them. But even if it's not a member of the UCDA, we can help to try.
Okay, but that's a good point. If I go to buy a used car, I should be looking to make sure they're a member of your organization.
We like to think so. Yep.
That's going to put a baseline in place for their practices, I would think. And it's a sticker. There's a decal in the window. It's royal blue and gold. We're going to bring it up in a second. Now,
it's hard to miss because it says UCDA
so you'll
right
see
on
that
it. So when you see that, you know that dealer thinks enough of themselves, enough of their industry and their professionalism to join our association. They subscribe to a code of ethics, and of course they're regulated, as all dealers are, by OMVIC. But they've gone a little extra mile in joining the UCDA. And
do they renew that every year with you?
They do.
So I could say, can I see your updated thing in case they just keep one back, like the tag on my luggage?
That's a good point. Every year when they renew, you'll see that sticker in their door or in their window. It'll have the year. We send up an updated year for them each time.
I know I'm being really picky, but buying used cars can be really difficult. It's a really good practice if you do it right, and it can be the beginning of a nightmare if you do it wrong. So I think I like consumers to know what's in place protecting them, which is you guys.
Well, I think also, UCDA also does training. I know this because I took the course.
Oh.
And did you pass?
Of course, I passed. I wouldn't mention it here.
You don't ask if he passed, you ask how disruptive he was.
They knew who I was, so I sat in the back and kept my mouth shut. But it was actually given by one of your core people who sometimes is a guest here too, Bob Pierce.
Bob Pierce?
And it was one of the best. I mean, there's only so much you can ever learn in a single day, but that probably was one of the best classes I'd ever attended.
Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Bob does a great job.
I think most people
course.
probably choose to do the course online because it's less inconvenient, or
I'm not so sure. I would have thought so, but they get a lot more out of the classroom session, whether Bob's teaching it. We have other teachers as well.
And a day off work to go.
But
well, if you're planning to
you get a lot more out of the class, and it is just to explain what the course is. It is a mandatory certification course that anyone that wants to get into the industry, as either a salesperson or as a dealer, has to take and pass this course. So they have two options. They can take it. Actually, they have to go and write a test at a Service Ontario license office. So it's it's a self-study course for them there, or they can take the classroom course, which is a one-day session. We offer it in conjunction with OMVIC, and the comments we get coming out of the course, echoing what George just said, they learn a lot, and because it's sort of compacted into a day's session and then they write the test right after that, it sticks with them.
It's intense. Yeah. That's the certificate I see in every salesperson's cubicle.
That's right.
Behind them. Okay. Yep. It's about time this stuff started happening. I was glad. I've noticed a difference in buying cars over the past 15 years or so. I've seen a shift, even just the base, I don't want to say the baseline knowledge, but I've noticed when this course came into being that the salespeople had a more consistent approach to selling.
And the other thing is vehicle history searches. It changed the way I think the industry does its business a little bit. Dealers had to first of all start by being more careful about what they said, because you could check. But I think it's also helped at the trade-in, because a car that's bought badly, if you pay too much for it as a dealer, you pass that problem along to the ultimate buyer.
As you said, I mean, the consumer can check, but the dealer can check. And in the past, the dealer couldn't check other than to look at the car, which they still need to do, of course, because those history reports, as you know, George, they don't necessarily tell you everything. That's right. They're not perfect. They can only tell you what information's been reported to them.
Taking some of the gambling out of the whole process.
Well, that's right, but it does help, and it's made everything more transparent. Absolutely.
You said you've got 5,000 members, so dealers. I know you can't know from people selling on Kijiji and Craigslist and all these places that I want to go like this to half the time, but what percentage would you say that is of dealers? If you've got 5,000, is that half of them are registered with you, or is that most of them? Do you have an idea?
It's more. Yeah, absolutely. It's more than half. There are a little over 8,000 registered dealers in Ontario. Some of those registrants aren't what you would think of as a dealer. There are various entities and companies that, because they sell cars from time to time, or they sell their own corporate fleets, they have to have a dealer license.
So it could be a body shop?
Or it could be a small operation, a body shop, or an independent mechanic, even a flea market. But a place that may sell an occasional car, maybe even 2 or 3 a year. That's not their core business, but they nevertheless need a license in order to legally sell those cars. Okay. And so of the active dealers that you would think of as a dealer, we think we probably have at least 3/4 of them as members.
So it's not out of line for a consumer to want to see a UCDA sticker there?
No, not at all. Not out of line at all. We promote our brand to buy with confidence. Look for the sticker. Look for the UCDA. Remember, we're currently running an ad campaign, as we do every spring and every fall, on TV and radio and online, to relay that message out there, to tell the folks, the consumers in the province, to look for the UCDA sticker, the UCDA sign in the window, or online on the dealer's ad, on their, whether it be Kijiji or Auto Trader or Car Pages or wherever. Look for the UCDA logo to know that you're buying with confidence. And if you have a problem, unfortunately it occasionally happens, then we're there to try to help out.
Warren, what are the typical types of problems you might have to mediate, like the more common classes of things? And we should say also, before you were the head of the UCDA, you were the original mediator.
I was, correct? Yes. I was hired as the original legal services director and mediator, chief cook and bottle washer.
So you've heard everything.
I heard pretty much everything. But the typical problems we have are usually mechanical related. The person has bought a vehicle, and within the first few days or weeks or a couple of months, the transmission's got a problem, or the engine seizes. Oh, that's a severe problem. But they have an issue, and for whatever reason, the dealer can't or won't do everything that the customer wants them to do. Oftentimes, frankly, it's just a matter of communication. We need to get them talking again, and that's what mediation is really all about: is getting them to talk. And once we can get them to focus on what the issue is, we're usually able to get a resolution that everybody can live with and avoid having to go to small claims court, because nobody wants to do that.
No. Do you want to say a word on deposits?
A word on deposits. What word would you like?
60 seconds worth before.
Here's the word. A word on deposits, and can't emphasize it enough, because there is a misconception out there in the public that they can put a deposit down and they've got a cooling off period of some sort. They've signed a contract. They've got a cooling off period.
We all hear the same questions, don't we?
There is no cooling off period when you're purchasing from a motor vehicle dealer. That's not to say that a dealer, if you have you put money down and you realize you can't afford it, a lot of dealers will give your deposit back, sure. But legally, once you've signed that contract, it's a binding contract. It's binding on both parties, and the dealer is not obligated to give your deposit back. Unless there is a fundamental reason that the contract can't be fulfilled. So please, when you're signing a contract and putting a deposit down, don't expect that 2 days later you can change your mind and walk in and get your money back.
That's still an ongoing misconception we hear on every single side of the table, and no matter how many times we beg people not to. And dealers, a lot of times, if you get home and you've bought the wrong car, get into another one. Like, a lot of them will work with you. Like, it's not that people are unreasonable, but it's a contract, and they have to do their end as well.
I'll tell you, it varies. The new car dealers are sometimes quite savage about getting your name on an offer.
Oh, yeah, they
And
can
so
be.
you might get buyer's remorse the next morning.
Okay,
and
we'll
they're
talk
not so
Savage
easy to
in a
work with.
minute. The Lemonade Car Show, brought to you by OMVIC, Ontario's motor vehicle sales regulator, returns after this short break. When we come back, we'll be taking your calls 800-968-7836.